A very good morning and good evening, everyone. Welcome back. So our last session, we were discussing about Linux commands. Let's try to quickly spend some time and revise those particular commands once again. So maybe I'll write a quick. So the first command we talked about is ls command with some options -l and capital A options. And after that, we talked about pwd and cd command. So to start with, after that, we used a file creation command, or we created a files by using touch command. And after that, nkdir to create the directory, rm command with the -r option to remove a file and directory, and cp command to copy a file and -r for copying the directory, and mv is to move a file and rename the file. So until here on this one, so we talked about here. And after that, we talked about cat command to see the content of the file. So header command and tail commands to see the content of the file with some filtering. And after that, we talked about the grep command to search something on the line, search some word and print those lines, and awk command to get a column-based filtering. Okay. And along with that, so we also talked about an editor. So VI editor, we talked about VI/VAM, both are same. And how do you open a file, and how do you edit a file, and how do you save a file, right? And so that is what we talked about. And SCD also, we talked about different options. SCD, we talked about a substitute, so giving some word with some, you want to replace with another word. And also with the options like G and I is what we discussed. And after that, we talked about inserting a line, adding a line, and changing a line, and deleting a line. So these are the options we have seen in last session with the SCD command. Until here we have discussed, and we'll move on to the next commands. Any questions before proceeding? To start with.
Hello.
Yeah.
A question like this week we would just be finishing up with Linux, that's right?
Correct.
Okay. So there's no way using the application I sent display link, this portal can be accessed.
No, this software is designed for securing the content, by the way. So anything that deviates the security can't be accessible.
Okay, but it's actually not recording. It's just that I'm using multiple screens. So any other app would you suggest other than display link? Like if you're using a Mac as well, I see.
No, please check it out from your side. So there is nothing that we can do about it. The portal is designed that way. Anything
Okay.
that deviates policy, okay, so you can't access the content. Make sure you do that.
Okay. Okay. No problem. Thanks.
All right, so let's get it started. So until editor we have discussed, and the next one we are going to talk about is a command line browser that we use. End of the day, this is a machine, this is a server that you need to browse certain things, by the way, but not the typical way that you do the browsing like you do in the desktop. Like let's say you are planning to access killer code on the server, maybe it is not necessarily needed, but still you need a browser, and the browser activity is to browse certain things and plus downloading certain things. So what do you use browser for? Even in your desktop, you browse certain website, and as well as we download certain files, right? So here also we'll do the same thing. So now it depends upon the content that you are browsing. You will see the raw content, by the way. So that means if I go to the google.com, okay. So google.com is the web page you're getting like this, but this is not the content that server is offering. The server is offering, if you go to the view page source, the actual content served by the server of google.com is, here is the one. So this is the content you got it from Google. Now, if I take this particular website and if I go to the command line system and if I give this one URL, I'll get the same content only. So this is the content that you will get. This is the raw content. But your UI browser is actually trying to showcase like this. But command line browser is not meant for that. Okay, it will not show you such things. So it will show you the raw content, and we should be fine with the raw content. Okay, so that is where we are going to go and use. So that's where, okay, we are going to go and use the browser, but still maybe it depends upon the content. So for an example, I will hit one URL, so which has some pretty proper content. Okay, or else let's take this. I have given one GitHub URL, right? So let's use this only. And let's say I wanted to get this content for an example. Yeah, so I got the content, and if I get this, now whatever the URL you see there, or whatever the content you are seeing there in that URL, so you're getting that information. Now this is something readable to you in a way, right? So because, I mean, you know that content. So the same way, the previous content, the call google.com also, it is a readable content for someone, maybe a developer or someone. Okay, so that's how it is going to work. It is going to give you the raw content, and this is more than enough for us generally. Okay, so and curl is one of the widely used command in your day-to-day activities as well, because you deal with the web applications, and to check the function of your applications behind the scene, whether those are working, not working, a small pieces of your microservices, curl command is the one that can be used and hit, and you get the response, and based on that you will determine it is all working, by the way. Okay, so that's where the curl and the URL is going to give you the raw content. And sometimes some softwares that you sometimes you'll be having a software to download, by the way, and such softwares, whenever you want it to download, you can still do that with the curl command by using like this. So what this is telling is curl, and you have a URL. You provided the URL. Okay, we provided the URL, and after that I'm giving -o, I'm giving a file name. Okay, I'm giving my own file name. So the same happens in web browser also. Let's say I take a Chrome, let's say tomcat. There is one website called as, let's say, tomcat.apache.org. Now here I have a software, and I wanted to download this zip file. So now if I click on this, automatically some zip file will get downloaded, right? It got downloaded. But however, I wanted to save in a different file name. So what I do is right click and save link as. If I do that, it gives me an option to choose my own file name. Let's say new.zip. Now on my system under downloads, I got a new.zip file name, right? So this is where you are going to get the option to choose your file name that you wanted to download. The curl also does the same thing. So it is giving your own file name to choose. Okay, so you are giving that. Or else I don't want, so my custom file name. So whatever it is, let it be. I wanted to download that. So let's say I'm removing the file rm apache. Now, whatever the one which comes in, I wanted to download the same thing. So then curl-O will come into picture. So previously we used small o, and we have given our custom file name. But whereas I don't want to bother about that, like maybe in the browser also by default, you click on it, it is downloading some file. So I wanted to use the same method here. So then curl -O will come into picture. Okay, and you got one. All right. So this is how you can download some content into your server by using curl command. And also you can browse at the same time with using curl command. Okay, cool. Now, sometimes a curl command actually tries to, or basically like your browsers or the web servers, whatever you're hitting, they'll try to take you to some other location. Okay. And you need to go to that location to download certain file. For an example, so there is a URL here. So if I give curl -O, okay, I'm giving like this curl -O main.zip, something I'm setting. So I got ls-ldr. So now you can see this main.zip file is a 0 bytes file. It did not got anything. We did not got anything. So why you did not got anything is because if I go into this URL, now this URL is actually trying to take me to another URL. Okay, for an example, you're trying to open the color code for the first time. So there is an option for you to sign up using Google. So that means what will happen? So for temporary, it will redirect you to the google.com and allow you to access or allow you to authenticate with google.com credentials. Okay, and then it will redirect back to this website. So that means usually the websites works in such a way that they can redirect you to some other location. Okay, temporarily or permanently, it all depends, by the way. Now killer coda authentication may be taking you to temporarily redirection and coming back to the killer coda, or some websites they may take you to the permanently to the some other location. So now what is this URL is it's an entry point URL. So maybe this is actually take you to some other website. Okay, so for an example, even the same URL, if I go and try to hit on the browser, so I got the zip file downloaded. But let's go to the history of my downloads. Okay, so if I take the link, by the way, the link what I am getting is this, but what is the link I hit here is this. Okay, both are not same. I hit one link, it has taken me to some other link, okay, to get this file downloaded. And that's where the redirection happened. Now to support that redirection, so then we have one option which we widely use, or not widely. We have an option, by the way, which is generally widely used also, is curl -L. Okay, so L is actually going to redirect to a new location if it is being taken to the new location, and you will get it downloaded. Okay, curl will get downloaded. You're telling that, okay, if you're being taken to a new place, please go to that place. By default, it is going to not do that. So that is where it is. Now ls-l. So you can see that the main.zip file is what you're getting some size, by the way. Now it's a proper one. So this is the options that we have. So in curl, by the way, so we generally use a couple of options. So curl, and if you want to download with a default file name -o, default file name is O, and a custom file name is o, and redirects, by the way, generally we do. So whether it redirects or not, also most of the time we may give -L. If there is a redirection, it will go. If there is no redirection, it won't go. There's no harm in that. So that's where generally a lot of people may give curl -L as default option. Okay, so that's about the curl command. Now, before taking questions, one small option as well. Now the files which you downloaded, okay, is a type of a file, which is, you can see here also, this website is actually offering either a zip file or tar.gz file. Okay, so two formats they are offering to download. So zip, I think you already been aware of it. The same way tar.gz is also there. Now zip is from Windows native protocol or Windows side compression method, whereas the tar is a Linux side archive method, by the way. Archive, and gz is a compression. So mostly tar.gz we are seeing. So it doesn't matter, but it's a tar archive, and zip is an archive method. In archive means you keep everything in one, is kind of a zip kind of a thing, right? So archive kind of a thing. And Linux, you have tar.gz. So either of the one. Now, if you have the software, if you want to extract that, now how do you do that? If it is a zip file is by using unzip command, you will do that. Unzip and then main.zip file. So you will get extracted content. So what you're getting is shipping-main folder. The same way, if it is a Apache Tomcat or whatever it is we have with .tar, it can end with anything, doesn't matter. If it is a .tar, so then how do you extract is a tar-x extract and a file which is Apache. So by doing this, enter, do ls, you can see that it has been extracted to a folder, and you will have the content inside that folder. Okay, so this is how so you download certain files if needed, softwares. I mean, I just shown only a zip files. Later you have a package management. You can download some packages also. And how do you install the packages? You can see that later in the next section, in the administrative section we have. But at this point of time, when you downloaded some software, it is a compressed file. Either it is a zip or tar. Most of the time it will be this also. And how do you extract them? Okay, how do you download and how do you extract? And curl in general, it can do the browsing as well. Okay. Clear? Any questions on this?
Hi Raghu. I wanted to know here, sometimes we are using credential to download the particular file. So how can we do it here?
Read the document of curl. That's what we talked, right? So here, curl manual page, any option you are looking for.
Yeah,
So you just start reading the documentations. So basically, I think Linux page will go for Linux, this one. So now you have a username password for your authentication purpose. You search for user name password. Okay, so generally -u option is there. I can directly jump in. Yeah, so the username password can be provided by using -.
got it, got it. Yeah, thanks. One more thing, Raghu, like here, high capital O and a small O difference is the in capital O we need to provide the file name, and a small O we are providing the file name.
Correct.
Thanks, Raghu.
Raghu, do we need to remember all of these like on a daily basis? Like we need to by heart them, practice a lot on the ones you mentioned in the other file as well.
The commands, whatever we discuss in the first week, is the bare minimum commands, and we do in our day-to-day activities.
Okay, so we should know all of these, whatever we are doing in this week, right?
Ideally, yes.
Okay, okay. And do we need to like the killer code? We need to get a subscription for this to practice?
Nothing. It's a free of.
Okay, okay, thanks.
Any other questions? So that will come to the end of Linux basics that we wanted to cover. But there is one last option which we have. It's not a command, by the way. It's an option or it's a feature in the command line. So which is a pipe symbol. Okay. So pipes are used to send the output of one command as an input to some other command. Okay. So command one pipe symbol, and you can do command two. Now, for an example, so cat is going to give you all the content, right? But you can pipe it and grep for root. You can also do the same thing by using grep root from /etc password. But just look at the method of, you're having one command, a big command that is generating some output, doesn't matter. And on top of that, you're using pipe symbol, and you're using another command, by the way. That means the output of the cat command is not getting displayed anymore. It is actually sending as an input to the another command, and your another command is reading that input and performing the action for you. Okay. So this is how we are going to get the pipe symbol to do the work. Okay. That doesn't mean that the pipe symbol is going to work for every command. Most of the commands it works, but you need to consciously use it. I mean, you will get to use to that. That's okay. But there is let's call out the limitation as well. So every command doesn't support the pipe symbol. So for an example, touch sample.txt I have given. Okay. Now ls sample.txt, if I give, it is giving me an output of this one, the file name, right? Now, if I want to remove this output of file name, I can give rm-f. So ls sample.txt is giving this output, and pipe rm-f. Now I'm assuming that it is going to work as rm-f sample.txt. Isn't it? That's what is a pipe symbol is supposed to do. Now do ls sample.txt is still there, because rm command is not capable of or not designed to deal with the pipe symbol. There are few commands, okay, so which won't support, by the way. Rm command is one of the known command from our learning, by the way. I just picked up rm command. Now rm command is not able to remove the file, even though I'm sending the output from first command, sending as an input to the rm command. It is rm command failed to read the input from there because it is not developed for that. Now in such cases, still I want to use rm command. Still I want to take the input from the another command, like pipe symbol. I want to get the input from pipe symbol. Still I wanted to use any command which doesn't support my pipe symbol. So you can bridge that by using the xargs command. Now what you're going to do is you're going to use xargs. Xargs is going to now you're sending this input to the xargs, and at the same time on the right hand side you're telling which command to run. Now xargs will load both the things inside it, and it will do the operation for you. Okay, that means literally inside what it will do is rm-f sample.txt is what it will make sure it executes as like you executed normal command behind the scene. So do ls now. You see that sample.txt is gone. Okay, so that's how the pipe symbol will work. Now, pipe symbol is not only limited to one command or one pipe only. You can go for multiple pipes. So for an example, if I go for head-1 or head-n1, first line, and pipe awk -f colon print $1. Okay, like this. So you can start doing pipe to whatever extent you wanted to do that. You can do that as well. I just taken a filter command example, mostly because we use filter commands generally for pipes. Generally, but doesn't mean it only the filter command supports. Other commands also supports, but yeah, mostly one or two commands you end up, by the way. Sometimes you end up more and more like this as well. Okay, so this is how the pipe symbol will work. So that comes to the end of the Linux basics that we wanted to cover. Any questions?
If we have Raghu, multiple grep, I want multiple text to search in our log file. So I can use this pipe symbol.
No, grep itself has an option to go for multiple.
Okay. So grep, for example, text1, text2. So text1 and comma, do we need to use? How?
There is some option. Just start reading the documentation as per your requirement. So there can be million requirements.
Correct. Yeah.
You already
Sure.
know how to start with, right? So you start
Yeah.
reading the document. So
Sure,
that's
sure.
where, like we already mentioned, so if you go and hit every scenario, by the way, you never move on to the next scenario, next actual things which we need.
Exactly. I will explore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Any questions on your additional things while you're thinking and doing it? You have lab session, by the way, so we can talk there, no problem.
Sure, sure.
But yeah, so in general also, like every one of you start, okay, so if you think about something new, by the way, you should start reading about it. Okay, that has to be an essential way. Like I am hoping for your regular work also, I'm hoping that what you do, by the way, if you are doing something and you are not aware, you start reading about it. So you should start doing the same thing. So there is nothing different that we're doing here. Yeah.
Hey, Raghu, these comments are enough for our DevOps.
I don't say enough. To start with, it is enough.
Okay, some package management, these comments also there, changing the permissions.
We haven't completed the site training, right? So
Okay, okay,
so there are
oh,
Linux itself is there is more.
okay.
Any other questions? All right. So the next one we're going to do is the commands which is related to the administrative section. Okay, or we just categorize it like both are same commands only. Or I mean to say like both are, whether it's a basic, by the way, or admin, it is just the commands only. But however, some commands are designed only for a administrator to run. So those particular commands we just categorized as under administration section. I just categorized, okay, in general, by the way, but for an operating system, it does not matter. Okay, so it does not matter. Okay, so which command you're executing and all. Okay, so if you have permission, it will allow you. You don't have permission, it will deny you. So that's where you need to be a root user. You need to be administrator to do certain activities. Okay, so and this work actually, whatever we wanted to do, we want to do in our own servers, not in the we wanted to do in our own servers, not in the we need to do on our own servers, not in the killer coda. Okay, killer coda gives the machine. I don't want to practice these topics in there because it has a limitations. They don't give the things what we are looking for. Okay, so that is where, so we'll go and try to start using Azure account. I hope every one of you have created Azure account. If not, also please, there's a video given to you, so you can go ahead and okay, so watch this video and you can create your Azure account. Now in this Azure account sign up, so there are two things which is being told. So one is creating a account plus and also going for a subscription as well. Okay, now when you went through the subscription, so I mean you may think that so they'll offer some free things, right? So Azure Cloud sign something like that. So generally they'll tell that, so not AWS. Yeah, so for free they will tell, right? So that will be assuming it is all free, but actually if you go for inside that, so they'll tell you certain things like so where are the details? Yeah, so what they're telling is so they're telling you will get only 750 hours of for 12 months. You'll get only 750 hours of B1 B2 instances. You will get it. Okay, so that to be ARM based, ARM based, and also that means ARM, like every software doesn't support ARM. We can't go with this. We go for AMD or Intel based. Intel also they are not giving, so they're giving only AMD things, and B2 is V2. So that means you can take one machine 30 days, 30 into 24 comes to almost like 720, something like that. So you can only run one machine continuously, by the way. So if you go to the B2 ATS V2 machine, okay. Now B2 ATS V2, which is AMD, by the way. So what is the specs of that particular machine is you're going to get like, so two CPU and 1 GB of RAM. Just you are getting 1 GB of RAM for this, for this particular system. And majority of our project software, maybe just for today, next to 2-3 days for Linux practice, maybe we can use this machine. But when you go for a project, by the way, most of your services require a memory more than 1 GB. So you can't run with 1 GB. Okay. So at least minimum 2 GB is compute is not needed. So memory is the one which is needed, especially for some of our services to run. And so that's where, so you will not be able to survive in this one single server running the whole application, by the way. So it's not possible. So whatever they say free is not free. Okay. It's just only the marketing purpose that you need to understand. And yeah, it's only for a beginner level project. Like, if you want to run Hello World training, yes, we can complete the trainings with the, free account, but we wanted to do some big project for elevate our learnings. Okay. So it is not possible. And that's where you end up mostly paying to Azure. But also at the same time, if anything, whatever we are using, if it is coming under, we'll also try maybe, okay, we'll start our project with that particular B2 ATS instance only. Okay. So if it is not working, we'll try to go to the other instances. But again, we need to check whether they even there is limitations comes into picture. Now you try to go and try to create like, let's say 10 servers of B2 ATS because our project have requirement of 11 instances. So if at the moment I go and try to provision, so that again, they'll block you. They'll not allow you to do that. So considering all these particular problems, okay, so we'll start the things with we'll start the things with so starting the things with subscription only, directly with a paid subscription. Okay. And however, even though you're in the paid subscription, okay, so since you're clicking from the free account, by the way, if anything can be discounted, by the way, they'll discount, and by the end of the month they'll give you the bill, by the way. So you need to pay the bill at the end of the month. Now the bill will come, it depends upon the usage I have been talking about. So it is going to be some $30 on an average. You will get it if you're practicing 3 to 4 hours of time on an average, by the way. So then you will get some $30 and easily, by the way. But if you are going for more practice, the more bill will come. So because the cloud is pay as you go. Okay. So maybe you can start with, okay, so clicking on try Azure for free, and you can go for, so complete the sign up, by the way. So the whole sign up I have given in the video. If you're not completed, so please go through that particular video later after this session. You can complete the sign up part as well. So let me log in to my account.
Hello, Raghu. Welcome this.
Yes. What is it? Go
Sir,
ahead.
I have a question. Like, is it necessary paid version for this Azure? Because which services going to pay what amount? $30.
I did not got you. Come again.
I'm asking, this is a free account you are creating, and we are going to create free account. For which services we need to pay?
So for all the services that we use, by the way, in our training.
But actually, 1 month, I think, free subscription for Azure.
That's what I explained, right? So 1 month you get only one instance, by the way. So one instance you can't run the projects.
Can't we use another credit card? If we are going to use one credit card, can't we use another credit card for next one?
See, you have to live somewhere in a ethical way, by the way.
Okay.
So you can live anyway, by the way, there are ways to ethically live. So you are using it as a responsible person, you try to pay for it, right?
Okay.
But again, see, by doing that way, I don't think so. You can't hide too much. By the way, they'll detect and lock your accounts. Okay. So end of the day, you waste the time, and you will not have any support to unlock your account, and you end up, so doing nothing only. So people has done this, and they end up spending 2 weeks, 3 weeks of time because support won't respond to such requests so fast. Okay. You end up, so sitting idle. By the way, end of the day, the value versus the time that you spend versus the money you save, by the way, I don't think so. It's a too much value that you save. So stick to the payments.
Raghu, after this project, we'll clean everything, right? Instances, everything
Yeah, of course.
to stop the billing.
Yeah, every day after our practice also, we'll stop the things. We don't run the things, completely, by the way. Okay.
Okay.
We will stop the things. So that's where when we stop the things, the minimal bill will come. When you run the things, the bill will run. So that's where, okay, I already mentioned. So average bill I'm talking about.
Okay.
And also, since our training, we are actually going for a infra creation automation. So that means we'll create most of the resources, okay, before your practice. Maybe 10-15 minutes you spend waiting for your infra creation to be done. So then, okay, so the remaining time you can practice, and after your practice you destroy everything, and everything goes as a automation, by the way. So hardly 10-15 minutes of time if you spend, everything will get created and destroyed as well when you don't need it. Okay, that's where the billing will try to reduce the billing as much as possible. That's also okay. But yeah, so whatever the bill, at least you get it. You need to make sure so you pay the bill, because end of the day, your time is the one which is rather than looking for what is 2,000 rupees. I don't think so. Like anyone life will change with some $30 of amount, by the way, right? Nothing will change in your life with $30 per month that you pay. Or let's say you take $50 also. What do you? What changes in your life? Nothing. Your life will be same only, right? But the practice, what you do, is actually going to change your life someday, right? So that is the idea. So yeah, so just, I know for someone maybe it maybe still feel like a big amount, but just assume, like, you look for some other places where you can save, not here, better. And I don't have any, I have one subscription, by the way. So I just stopped that subscription because my previous batch is done. I'm going for another subscription adding from my side, by the way. In your case, I think you go with the free account, by the way, and you may enter still the, still enter your credit card details, or you start with pay as you go. That should be fine. So I'm going with that. And I'm signing up so that I can create my servers, by the way. So I'll enter my details. Okay, so my details are already there. So here you don't choose any technical support. So it just choose it as no technical support. We don't need any support, by the way. So don't choose anything else. Okay, so no support. I'm looking for sign up. not ask me any more details, because since I already have one pay as you go. So I'll just go with my previous one only. It doesn't matter which one I use. So it is asking for 30 minutes of time for getting it activated. Let me see, is there any other way that I can get it? So I'm having my, this is my training account. So I have my personal account also. Let me see if I can sign up anything from there. So just getting the details. Yeah, so I have, let me use that by the way. So end of the day, once you're done with your subscription, so you will see a subscription like this. So over here. Okay. So now what is the thing that you need to do for you to practice by the way? Okay. Example, if I go here. Okay. So for you to, so the subscription is all about the, okay, so the payment that you want to pay by the way. In organizations also will have multiple subscriptions. Okay. A single account will have multiple subscriptions as well. For an example, to show some project of my work by the way. So here, the list of subscriptions I'll be having in the network part, I think. So if you see this, by the way, so how many subscriptions I am having over here. So you can see these subscriptions by the way. Now here I'm going to grab for subscriptions. Now each and every subscription is different. If you see this, okay, slash subscription, and the ID is 497C1, 1B8, everything is a different subscription, right? Now, if I wanted to count it, by the way, grep has an option to count the lines also rather than printing the output. So I'm having 197 subscriptions that time when I worked on the project. So it was only, so some part of migration only. So there was easily some 500 plus accounts was the plan. Okay. So that means 500 plus subscriptions are there. So why these many subscriptions that we generally do in the organization is, now every project is going to have every company. This is a platform we work for. So that's where many accounts will come. But otherwise, for any project, if you take also in the platform, you're going to have a multiple environments. Later, anyhow, we'll talk about each and every environment. We're going to have a separate subscription so that you can limit the access to the certain people, and also you can attain the fine-grained control from the administrative perspective, by the way. So that's where there'll be multiple subscriptions generally in the organization. Okay, so here also I have created multiple subscriptions for different purpose, by the way. So I wanted to, okay, so if you remember that something I have mentioned, which is in the demo on the first session, which I mentioned, we will be, let me grab that screenshot. Right. So the other day, so the very first day we were talking about lab sessions and customized lab setup, right? So the customized lab setup that we empower you in the fast in learning, right? So this where, okay, so which we are going to provide. So I'm providing something from my side. So I just created one subscription. I also just wanted to separate the billing from my side. So how much billing I'm getting there. So to give you that, by the way, I'm getting certain cost involved for that. Okay. So okay, I think this is not the one. This is the second one is the one. So which will get a cost for that. Okay. So this is my general usage. Okay. So why I created multiple subscriptions in the very first place is for me also I'll get a clarity that, so how much I'm using for one purpose, how much I'm using for another purpose. So it is easy for me to understand. All right. So that is where organizations, they'll try to create multiple subscriptions. So how much you are paying for dev, how much you are paying for prod, we'll have a clear billing, and also who can access prod, who can't access prod, and who can access dev. Your segregation will be much easier, by the way. Okay. So let's not get into the too much details out there. So once you have your subscription ready, so what is the next thing that you need to do is you need to create a resource group in Azure. Okay, so they are going to come up with something called as a resource group. That means a group of resources you can provision, or you can provision the resources, all the cloud services under one group. Okay, so to start with, and that group can be chosen from one of the region from Azure, by the way. Okay, so if you can go for the Azure regions, so what are the regions they offer, by the way, the list of Azure regions, they offer different regions. Now, why they need to offer different regions? So why they have these many regions in the very first place? Okay, why don't they keep everything in one place? Okay, why, let's say Microsoft as a company, so they are from, let's say, from United States. Why don't they keep every operation in, maybe let's say in one place? Why don't they run from there? Why they need to go to each and every country and try to provision the, provision the data center? So each and every region comprises of certain data centers. Then why they need to go to why they need to go to really to that, each and every country, and why they need to do that in the very first place? Okay, there are two reasons for that majorly. One is GDPR. Okay, what is GDPR is basically here. Okay, so GDPR is General Data Protection Regulation, right? So that means what happens here is what happens over here is there are governments, by the way, so which will impose certain rules as a compliance. Under governance and compliance, they will say that you can't take our country's data outside of country. Okay, so that means let's say you take India, like in India, and India you can't take any PII data. So PII data is a personal identity information data. you can't take it outside of the country. Okay, you can't put it in other countries. There is a rule in India. Okay, anyone not following that particular compliance is not eligible to do the business in India. Okay, so that's where so if someone want to use Azure, by the way, Azure should be locally sitting inside. Azure data center should be locally sitting inside in the India country. The same applies to US also. Any PII data of US can't go out of US. Like PII means, like, let's say social security number and things like that. Okay, in India maybe like a Aadhaar kind of a data. So that data can't go out of the country. And for such reasons, okay, for the GDPR policy to comply, so that is one major reason they have to go with the local regions, by the way, to serve the business to the every country. So they have to do the business. And the second reason which is involved over here is, okay, now I'm sitting in India. If my data center, I'm running my application inside US. Now all my customers are from India. Okay, now every transaction has to go over the wire, cross thousands of miles, and hit the data center and come back the response. It is going to take a lot of time. So the application latency will come into picture. Okay, so the delay in the responses will be slow. Applications will become slow, and that's where, okay, is also another reason they have to come up with a data center locally, by the way. So as much as you are near to the data center or near to the your wire is less, faster the response. Very simple, by the way. As long as your wire is less, okay, you have the faster response. And this is also the another reason that they will go with multiple regions. Now we had to pick up one of the region over here. So to start our training, by the way. Okay. And for this particular, I mean to say, like, for this particular training to run, I am picking up one region generally, okay, which is little lesser cost in price, generally comparing with other regions. So mostly I am using is UK West region. Okay. So this is the region I've been using to, get little lesser cost comparing with other regions generally. Okay. Or else maybe when I did the, maybe a couple of years back, when we did the, so setup, by the way, so that time maybe the UK these many regions were also not there. So few of them were not there. And so during that time, UK West was little very less used region, and as well as little lesser cost comparing with other things. So that's where I picked the one. And the support that I give, by the way, is also available in this particular region as well. Okay, so what I offer is a certain image, by the way. So we offer certain, from my side, I'll offer an image, so that makes your life easy in terms of practice, rather than you set up everything from the scratch. You take a basic machine, you set up everything from the scratch, so makes your life little, let's say you're spending, let's say 10 minutes every day. So over a period of time, so it is a significant amount of time that you waste. So just want to avoid that. So we'll give you a image to provision a machine, by the way. And that's where, so we are going to use UK West region. And mostly now if I go to, okay, now I need to create a resource group, a group of resources inside that particular, choose a particular region. Okay, so I have to create one resource group. So that also I think I should be adding here. I think this is mostly about creating a resource group under prerequisite. Oh, I already given it. Sorry, my bad. Azure prerequisites, there is already this document is been given here. So these are the things that you need to do. Okay, you need to create, just choose UK West region and create certain things, whatever is mentioned here. I will also follow these particular steps. Okay. So shall we proceed? Any questions on this before proceeding?
here, hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you're on.
Yeah, here, for one account, we can have multiple subscriptions, right? Like,
Yes.
for one subscription, can we have multiple resource groups?
Yes, yes.
Raghu.
Yeah.
Raghu, actually, how you went to the that location? That location just selected, na, that UK base. How you go? Can you show me once?
That's what is the next step.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question like why we are taking two CPU here?
Why you are taking, sorry?
Two CPU.
Why you are taking two CPU?
Yes, sir.
So because the application, in order to run, by the way, it needs capacity. One CPU is also fine, but we need more memory. That's what I told. But what is the free instances they are offering is the two CPU. They are offering two CPU.
Okay.
Hi Raghu.
Yeah.
So whatever we are just trying to do, this is with the subscription, right? This is, I mean, from now onwards we are getting like going for the paid version only, right? Is it, or else first we'll use the free things and then we will go for the subscription thing. Like I did not get that point.
No, so free is anyhow not free is what I'm telling. You end up with paying only. Even if you go for a free one also, they'll ask you the card details. You can go beyond the usage, and anything you use beyond the free usage is you have to pay by end of it.
Okay, I mean, like whatever we just trying to do, this will start the subscription, like, right? I mean, everything.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll be going with creating a resource group. All right. So yeah. First, the prerequisite is we need to create one resource group. So I'll go to here. So I'll go to the resource group here. I'm already having some resource groups, so you can ignore that. So now I'll create a new resource group here. Now you have to give the resource group name. So whatever, subscription name that what you wanted to choose. I'm giving iteration 1, and you have to choose the resource group name. So the resource group name I'm giving is, let's say, my first RG, something like that. I'm just giving something, that's okay. And automatically I'm getting UK West region because my previous preferences, I think it has predicted automatically and have given me a UK West region. Otherwise you may get something else, but choose UK West region. Okay, so that should be fine. You can go for review and create it. Now a resource group will start getting created. And all the resources that you can provision here can be associated in that region. So it will come. Okay. So you got the resource group. Done. And that means I go to the resource group, I choose the project name, I choose UK West, first one, second one, make sure, and review and create. We created that one. So the next one is, so it doesn't come up with, okay, so first of all, in the cloud, by the way, you need to set up one network for creating your virtual machines and all. You need to create one network, by the way. So the network URL is given here. You can directly open it, virtual network. Anyhow, later we'll talk about the networking classes someday in, so in the security. By the way, how do you set up your network properly? We'll talk about it. But for time being, so I need a network here. So these networks belongs to certain other resource groups. So I need to create my own network. So the resource group is my first RG. Yes. Let's say test network. I'm giving whatever it is, and you can go for what is it given here. Let's follow the document. It is given choose network, and you give this is all okay, and click on review and create. I think there is nothing more to be told. So you will go for review and create. And creates. So anyhow, this will detail, you will see it later. So the networking concepts. So these are some prerequisites, by the way. So that's where we have to do this. All right. So the next is complete. Okay. Now the next is what is the next thing? It is being told here. After creating a network, okay. So then create one allow all security group. So what is this? You will understand maybe in the Friday section. We have a networking. If we couldn't able to complete the networking in Friday, maybe next week, first day, there's a networking introduction session will come. So that time you will understand what is this, by the way. But just for timing, blindly follow this. Once I go through take you through certain scenarios, I can help you in understanding this in a better way. So I will do that. So here, create a network. So you're going to say that it is under my resource group. Test, something like that. It is one thing, something, and go for review and create. Okay. Just go for review and create. Okay, that is also done. Now, if you go to the resources, so what we created is network security groups, allow all test. You have to go inside that. That's what it is telling. So open the security group, by the way. And there is something called as, so this is the first link I have clicked on. Second one I clicked on. And the third one, settings, by the way. Okay, so let's go to the settings. And the fourth one is inbound rules, I think, right? So click on fourth inbound rules. And the fifth one is click on add. Okay, click on add. And the sixth one is you just choose any star any. So here any. So you just choose star. Okay, right? So it is just following the same thing as is. Here star, and then go for add, by the way. So let's not bother about anything in technical at this point of time. We'll talk about this. Now your prerequisites is done. Now you can go for ahead and create a virtual machine. Okay. So now how do I create a virtual machine? So probably I should need to extend the documentation, the same thing. So click on this. So it will take you to a virtual machine section. The service inside Azure is virtual machine. You have to go inside that. Yeah. All right, I don't have any virtual machines at this point of time. So we need to create certain virtual machine. Now on the top, you have a create a Azure virtual machine. So click on that. Okay, so then which resource group that you're going for? So my first resource group. And by default, if you see the bill, by the way, the estimated monthly cost it is coming is, that means if you run this machine completely for 30 days without stopping, this is the bill you're getting. Okay, so the virtual machine name is my first virtual machine name. I'm going for UK West region. Okay, so now here you don't need to change anything. You come to the image, by the way. This is what the offering from my side. Okay, so click on see all images. And you go for community images here. And you search for DevOps practice and enter. So DevOps practice, you will get RHL 9 DevOps practice. So both are mine only. So you can choose this one, RHL 9 DevOps practice. You can choose this. All right. So this is what you're getting. Now here I'm getting 2 CPU, 4 GB RAM, by the way. The instance type I'm getting is 2 GB, 4 GB RAM. Maybe you want to, it is okay if you can just to start with 1 CPU, 1 GB RAM is also fine. And the bill is changed, by the way, accordingly. We're okay with that instance to start with. Maybe for a few days, we're not running any software. It's only for practice. You can choose. There is certain instance standards they are offering. So for those instance standards, so we are using for each and every instance standard, that also we'll talk about it. What are those different instances types they'll offer? We'll talk one day. So now here I'm getting standard B1S for now. So 1 CPU, 1 GB RAM is also supported. You can just choose that. And now you're going to use the next thing, by the way. So here you better choose for password. Okay. You give your username and I'm going to give my name, let's say, or any other username, whatever you want. And the password length has to be some 12 characters. So that's where I'm going to give DevOps. Or here also I'll use aged user, something like that, to keep it generic. DevOps at the rate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 I'm giving. So total, what is the username I have given is aged user, and the password is DevOps, capital D, capital O, and at the rate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can give any password, whichever is whatever it is being. You can give any password, or whatever it follows the standards, by the way. You give some 12 characters. And you're not done yet, by the way. So you just need to go to the next disks and go for next networking. We have created one small thing, right? So which is allow, okay, network security group here. So choose that. And your first NSG, whatever we have created. No, not that. So let's go for allow all test. This is the one I have created. Okay. So then review and create. Then finally, it is going to create. Okay. Let me come back again from starting. Okay. So once again, so I canceled the request. First thing. Okay. Let's add that also to the document. So create a virtual machine. So go into this link, and after that, so first thing is you will be going towards inside the virtual machine. So create a virtual machine. So this is the first thing, and this is the second thing. It's the third thing. Okay, done. After that, so here is a first thing, and here is a second thing that will be chosen. And that means I'll choose this guy, and so first VM. And coming down, so you have to click on and the third one is you click on all the images. I'll write the description again. So since it is not there, let me add it. And I think you can go for all images. In the all images, so first you need to choose community image and search for DevOps practice, enter, and you choose something. So in the images, so you would be choosing, the first is this, second is this, third is this. Okay. So once you are done with that, so I choose this. Maybe if you want, you can go for this. It's optional, by the way, it's not mandatory. Anyhow. So for a couple of hours we use, it does not matter much. So you will move on it. And the next one is the password. So then aged user 556. Then again here. So just use these credentials, by the way. Okay, done. And just go to the finally go for disks. And next immediately, don't change anything. Go for networking. Okay, over here, you're going to choose so first you're going to choose advanced, and then second one you choose allow all, and the third one you click on review and create. And actually one more option, it's better to have it. Let me add that option also. So this is very important, otherwise unknown billing will come into picture. So here, the first one is this, second one is this, third one is this, don't forget this option, because the moment you have this, by the way, the billing extra, if you have observed on the other side, the extra billing is actually the numbers changed because of that only. Okay, you see this, when you actually choose in the instance, you got one billing, but after when you come to the networking, by the way, so they're adding extra billing, by the way. Okay, this anyhow, this estimations only. But yeah, so see the build changes because of this one. So don't forget to choose this particular option to delete it when we delete a VM. Okay. So finally, review and create. Finally create it. It will take a minute and you will get the instance by the way. Now, how do I connect to this particular instance? Okay. So create Azure virtual machine. All the screenshots are being given here. I'll add some description again, but yeah, so you got all things. Okay, so now once you get the VM, by the way, you need a connection to that VM. So you require a client to be downloaded on your system to connect to that particular system. Now the client, if you are using a Windows machine, so there's a PuTTY software. So PuTTY. So here you can go for download PuTTY, and you can simply go for x86 one. So this one, you download the PuTTY software, and using this PuTTY, you will be able to download. You will be able to run. Okay. So once you download that exe, it's a simple binary file, no installations also, don't bother. It's not even installing anything in your system. It's just an exe file. You download the file, double click the file, and it will open it. Okay, maybe move that file and keep it in your desktop or somewhere so that you can have it handy whenever you want it. And just simply open that file and you're going to, okay, so get a window like this. Okay, so it is a simple window, you get it. Now inside this window, it is asking you to enter the IP address for connection. So you need to connect to that server. So you need to provide the IP address. So now do I get the IP address? Yes, go to the resource. My VM is ready. Now I'm going to get one public IP address. So simply take that particular IP address. Okay. So just paste in your system. Okay. So in your PuTTY, by the way, and click on open. That's it. Nothing more than that you need to do. So simply enter the IP address, click on open. Then it will ask you for a username. Okay, the username you have said when you actually created the user, created a VM, aged user, and the password is DevOps. You hit enter, it asks for the password, you type the password. While you're typing the password, it won't, it won't show you what you're typing, but that's okay. You just type the password and hit enter, it will take you to the system. But for some people who are like Mac machine like me, okay, so whoever is having Mac OS, you have an inbuilt terminal in your system. Okay, so you can use a command line. So SSH, it is going to be aged user @ the IP address. So what is the IP address here is, this is the IP address, and paste it here. So it will ask the password. So I'm entering DevOps @ 1 2 3 4 5 6, and I'm able to log into the system. And this is the Linux box for us to practice, by the way. Okay, so PuTTY also, you should be able to log in and see the same screen. And once we are able to log into the system, once you're able to log into the system, the client doesn't matter any. You're in the Linux box, all your commands is just executing, as simple as that. So now what all the commands you have practiced so far also. Okay, so what all the what all the commands we have practiced so far also can be practiced here as well. So this is the actual Linux box. Okay, ls. So cat, something, whatever it is, right? So everything is here. Okay, so that's about how do you create your VM and how do you connect to your VM. And once you're done with your work, by the way, like let's say once you're done with your practice, you go to the virtual machine. This is the only thing which is chargeable right now. Maybe you can delete this particular virtual machine. So you come here, you click on delete, it is deleting. So here you just choose this option as well and delete. Okay, so just enter. It is going to delete the resources, whatever the server you have created. Now maybe for a few days we'll create a server, destroy the server, create a server, destroy the server, and once the project starts, maybe we stop the server. Okay, so that I can use it for tomorrow, something like that. Okay, so this is about how do you create a machine and how do you connect your machine. Okay, is it clear? Any questions?
So my question is regarding why are we using a community machine like while we are creating virtual machines? So why are we going for community instances?
Two things: community is not chargeable, and second thing is
Okay.
in community only my whatever the image I'm giving is available. That one we
Okay.
selected
And
is from my
secondly, okay, good. And secondly, do we need to keep the same names of all the groups and everything?
no need.
Okay. Okay, got you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, Raghu.
Yeah.
This images just now you updated in the GitHub, I think somewhat not clear. So size, how much we need to choose in the creating a virtual machine, and that is missing there, I think. Did you set if you
That's what it is an optional. So whatever comes default, you can use it, or else 1 CPU, 1 GB RAM.
okay, 1 CPU, 1 GB.
Yes. That is optional, just only 1 or 2 days. That is anyhow not going to be sufficient for project. So that's where I did not really add it in the screenshot.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
We are maintaining this multiple subscription only for the billing purpose. Because my question is, for one subscription, we are able to create multiple resource groups, right? So each like as we can create multiple resource group. One resource group you can give for the dev, and one another resource group you can give for the prod, right? So then, in that scenario, why we have to go for the multiple subscriptions?
The billing is up. The billing will show on the subscription level, not on the resource group level. So it is actually a challenge for you. And also organizing purpose. Now you are a developer. I don't want to give you the access to the production. So subscription level, it is much better than the resource group level.
Okay. And you're creating some custom images, right? Where we will be using to create the instances. Does the custom images are chargeable?
For me, since I'm sharing, yes, it is chargeable. For consumption, there is no charge.
Okay, like how you will be able to upload the custom images to the Azure Cloud?
We'll talk about it. We'll do that anyhow. We have to do it.
Okay, and you're creating a network, right? Before creating a VM.
Correct.
And while creating the VM, we are selecting an option called delete the public networks if the instance get deleted.
Correct.
Which means a created network can be used for the multiple instances.
See, first of all, your system to communicate, there should be a network.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you created a network. And when you created a VM, in order to access it, it need one IP address. What I'm telling you is this IP address is chargeable. So you just delete that IP address is what I'm telling. When you delete an instance, there is no point in keeping the IP address when you delete an instance, right?
Okay. Got it.
So you're deleting that. Yeah.
Raghu, I already have a VMware with Linux installed. So is that instance different from what you have created here inside Azure?
In your local system VMware.
Yeah. I'm in pen testing, so I have a VMware and Linux installed. So is this
that is not a scalable one. Why? Because you can't run 10, 11 instances on that VMware. Okay, the capacity that needs the project, your desktop will not be capable for it. Like I told all things, so it all works very well for Hello World. But the moment you try to bring in the big project for better learning, the things will fall down. Such practices.
Okay. And one more thing, there's no problem with doing all this on the company laptop, right? I mean,
there is no. Yeah, you're just using a browser.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and there's only one thing that again that may come into picture is if they are okay. Let's say you're connecting over PuTTY and you're connecting to a remote system or port number 22. There is a chance for that may not happen in some company laptops, but you need to check for that. But everyone will not do that. Only certain bank. Certain companies with financial background and all will be doing to that level extension of blocking your laptop. But ideally, it should work. So just give a try, first of all. Mostly it should work. If not work, just let us know or let me know. So we will try to work on something else. What can
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Raghu, this image you are mentioning here, Ubuntu Server 24, we was selecting. Then after that, the other one like DevOps practice. So that and this is different, right? I think. Or else how?
So you come to the community images and you're selecting the RHL9 DevOps practice. This is the image I'm asking you. You can choose any image, that's fine.
Okay, I mean,
as long as it is RHL9, it is fine, by the way. But for each and every machine, you have to do the prerequisites, by the way, which is a waste of time. You take a bare machine.
Okay.
So that's the only thing difference which will come into picture. Nothing.
Okay.
I'm also not doing anything great, by the way. Okay. So tomorrow, while you're practicing any tools, by the way, so here I bring one utility called as Lab Auto. So this utility will help you in installing any software in a faster manner. You don't need to really go and do the things bit manually and make your time waste, by the way. So here there are certain automation available. Okay, since this is a lab, any software you want to install, there's a catalog available. Simply consume that and your life will be easy. So that's the only thing I'm doing. And other than this is a very basic RHL9 machine. I have not done anything special on this.
Okay. Instead of doing ourselves, I mean, you're just giving the customized image.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Any other questions? So since I'm done with my work, by the way, so I will simply go here and so try to delete my machine and I'll try to create my machine once again tomorrow. So once you delete the machine, you're lost. I mean, you're lost in the sense you will lose this machine. You can't get it back. Did I delete it? Yeah. All right. So that's all from my side for today. And if you have any questions, so there's a lab session on the given times. I'm seeing people are curiously going and clicking on that link before the time, and there won't be anyone available. So it is given on a certain time. So please join during that time and the team will be available if you have any questions or challenges. Okay. So just discuss with them there. If needed, I'll also join. Okay. That's all from my side for today. If no questions, I'm good. Any other questions?
Yeah, hi Raghu. From tomorrow, we need to be ready with this setup, we need to complete all the process which you have shown now.
Yeah. So from tomorrow, I'll be using my own virtual machines, not anymore from the machine from the killer code.
Okay. We also on the same step, right? Parallelly.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Okay. So just give it a try, accessing creative VM, try to access it. Okay. So fine. Okay. If it doesn't work, there's a lab session, that's fine. But give it a try 1 or 2 times before reaching out to help so that you'll also learn something. Okay. Then yeah, let's meet in tomorrow. We'll continue with the remaining Linux things, whatever we have in tomorrow's session. Okay. Bye. Good day.